Defensive. That's what we're going to talk about today on Strength for Today. Thanks for joining us. Defensive. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 17 on this Monday, August the 11th. He that is first in his own cause seemeth just, but his neighbor cometh and searcheth him. The first person who comes forth to make his case seems to be right until the second side is presented and shown forth. And another point of view shows the faults of the first case. So there are two sides to every story is basically what this verse is trying to tell us here. It's very unwise to hear just one side of the story and refuse to hear the other because there are two sides to every story. Most every man can make out a good case for himself, and it's natural for a man to justify himself. And Adam sought to justify his eating of the fruit by blaming God for giving him a woman. That was kind of a selfish excuse, I believe. And to make a decision based on hearing only one side of the story is to surely err and cause a miscarriage of justice. We should be wise enough to always hear both sides of the story. I want to read a story to you in 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 13. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be thou the Lord. I have performed the commandment of the Lord. And Samuel said, What meaneth then the bleating of the sheep in mine ears, and the lowing of the oxen which I hear? And Saul said, They have brought them from the Amalekites. For the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen to sacrifice unto the Lord thy God, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. Then Samuel said unto Saul, Stay, and I will tell thee what the Lord hath said unto me this night. And he said unto him, Say on. And Samuel said, When thou wast little, when thou wast little in thine own sight, wast thou not made the head of the tribes of Israel? And the Lord anointed thee king over Israel. And the Lord sent thee on a journey and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed. Wherefore, when didst thou not obey the voice of the Lord, and didst fly upon the spoil, and didst evil in the sight of the Lord? And Saul said unto Samuel, Yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord, and have gone the way which the Lord sent me, and have brought Agag, the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people took of the spoil, the sheep and the oxen, the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto the Lord thy God in Gilgal. And Samuel said, Hath the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices, and obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. For rebellion is the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, and hast rejected thee from being king. And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the Lord, and thy words, because I feared the people, and obeyed their voice. You see, there's two sides to every story. And sometimes your side needs to hear God's side. And when you listen to God's side, you may realize your side was just a little off. And you may need to make things right with Him. May that be your strength for today and your hope for tomorrow.